everyone. I'm Kim Graves. This is Jessica Ausbrook. We're from Solidarity Community Federal Credit Union, and this is the Ripple Effect.
That's right.
Guess what?
What?
I've been practicing.
I know you have. And
I've been practicing singing.
Okay. Let me hear.
La 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 la. Ta-da!
Mr. LB, what do you think? Also, I didn't get the memo, you guys. Thanks for telling me we're matching
blue.
today.
We're going blue today.
We have Mr. Leazenby-Bruce with us. I always call you that. I guess we could call you Jeremy because
No one else does.
teacher
LB,
capacity.
Mr. LB.
Today you're representing Kokomo Curtain Call.
Kokomo Curtain Call.
That's right. Things coming up. Let's talk a little bit about Curtain Call, the history. Who's it for? Who performs?
Well, back in, I think when it first started, it was really originally for families to perform together. So they had adults and children on stage. In 2001, they incorporated it on their own and kind of took on the title Curtain Call Theater for Children.
Okay.
And it went down that path for a little bit. And then in February of 2020, I took over as the executive director and got to navigate through COVID. Oh, yeah. And from there, we've started adding back some of those family elements so that families could perform together on stage. And so we've seen a lot of that. And then our summer show, we've dedicated to Curtain Call alumni, family, and friends. So we're bringing in some of the alumni back on the stage and getting some of the adults in the community involved and invested in the program. So that's kind of where it started. It actually started as a branch of the Kokomo Civic Theater back in the 1980s. And people get us confused because we were together. And then in 2001, they separated off. So that's a big confusion in the community. It's like, oh, it's Kokomo Civic Theater. No, we are our own entity celebrating 25 years this season.
Wow.
This is our 25th season.
Wow. That's incredible.
A lot of talented people in Kokomo.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We have lots of talented kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a feeder system.
Oh
like
my
they go to
gosh.
Curtain Call, and then they go to high school, and then they go to college, and then they do civic theater. We're really lucky here in Kokomo. We have so many talented people who stay, who grow up through this theater system and then stay to entertain us, and they start with Curtain Call.
Yeah, and it's great to see that our impact has started to impact some of the schools. We're starting to see some school programs get stronger and bigger. And so we've seen that influence, and then obviously we benefit from that because their theater programs are stronger, so they also come back to Curtain Call, and so we get kind of the cream of the crop, I guess, of Kokomo and Howard County. And we have people come from outside of Howard County to come in and perform with us. Hamilton County, Clinton County.
That's great.
Miami County, they just all come and perform.
How many people usually does it take to put on a show?
Oh my.
I'm just curious.
Right? I have a huge production team and team of volunteers that takes, and depending on the size of the show, it could take 20 people or more to do that. Our cast sizes range. A lot of times we have about 60 to 80 in a cast, depending on the show. So yeah. Unless we get into coming up, we have, Christmas Carol coming up. It's a studio show. So one of the big things in the last 5 years was to purchase a place or find a place for Curtain Call to call home. And so we financed a little studio space on North Armstrong about 2 years ago. So now we have the Curtain Call studio, and that seats 60. And so the production teams are much smaller in that space. Getting ready to go into Christmas Carol here in December 14th, the 11th through the 14th. And we have a cast of about 20. And a production team about 5.
You probably need a moving Christmas tree, don't you? I mean, I could probably
You think about everything that goes into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Think about all that.
So much.
Yeah. I remember when we first got the building on Armstrong, and they're like, you can't do shows in here. And I'm like, oh yes.
Shouldn't have said that.
Right. And so we've had some really productive shows in there. I think my most favorite was when we did Diary of Anne Frank. A couple years ago. It was being that close and that powerful of a show. At the end, the audience just sat there. They didn't know what to do. Like, we had to dismiss them. Like, they didn't even clap. They were so just in shock of how powerful the show was. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Do you have your own design team that creates the costumes and?
Well, we could use some more volunteers for that.
Okay.
I do have now, I have a technical director who sits on our board, and he is amazing at lighting, and something we just tried this fall with Big Fish is we now own our own projector. So we're moving into the projection world, which just is amazing to add to the things that we can do on stage. And then about a year ago, I brought on a new set person, and she's amazing. And I'm like, you can't go away.
Sorry, I guess stay.
Right. And so luckily she has a child who's in like 9. I'm like, all right, I have you for at least another 10 years. Yes. By then you'll be a fixture and you won't be able to leave. But she's doing great in set. But costumes and choreography, those are the 2 areas that if there's anybody out there who has that specialty, we could really use that specialty on our team.
I mean, do you save them from the previous shows and put them all back just in case? I mean, for later on that you can use them for a newer show?
Sometimes we do. Because we don't have a large space, we've already outgrown our studio. And so we're looking for our strategic plan is how can we continue to grow? We would love to have storage for that. And so we're close. I think we're close to getting a storage building for just our costumes and props. But right now, one of our big supporters is Kokomo Bruno's Pizza in Kokomo. Yeah. And they have a storage building behind their Kokomo store. And Gina Curl is wonderful. She allows us to use that as our storage facility. So we share that with her, and she shares that with us.
Wasn't she a choreographer?
Awesome. That's awesome.
She did some dancing?
That lady is busy.
I know.
She did choreograph a show early on when she sat on our board for a little bit at the beginning. To help us get through COVID, and she choreographed a Little Mermaid way back in the time. So she's an amazing choreographer. She's just trying to nail her down to give me time.
One of a million things, right?
Right. She's all over the place.
So we have a show coming up for Christmas. You mentioned the dates. Do we know who's in the cast? What's it going to look like?
Well, there's 20 cast members. You can kind of go to our Facebook page and kind of see that. And then the show's about an hour. So Christmas Carol is one of those things that's public domain. So about 3 years ago, my technical director and I wrote the adaptation for A Christmas Carol to kind of make this like a fundraising show. And so each year we've kind of tweaked it. So we have it down to about an hour. There's about 20 people in the cast. Our studio seats about 60. So those shows sell out pretty fast. But yeah, everything's on our website, really. Okay. You can find out everything, kcctc.org.
Got all that?
kcctc.org.
I mean, we could go and sing like Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. Or,
pre-show. Pre-show.
Jingle Bells, or we could do Jingle Bells or something. Yeah, pre-show. We could do that.
You could do pre-show entertainment.
Yeah, we definitely
could. Ring some bells or something.
It takes a lot of commitment, not only from obviously the adults who are organizing this, but this is no joke for the kids either. They're putting in the time.
Right.
How many hours do they put in?
Well, just for this Christmas Carol, starting mid-October, auditions happened. And so they've spent the last couple months doing the show. 3 rehearsals a week for 2 hours at a rehearsal time. Wow. So it takes a lot. Mm-hmm. And just think about those big musicals. We have Oliver Jr. coming up in March. Those auditions are coming up December 20th. Oh, so they're just right around the corner. And so they'll start rehearsals in January, and it'll be a 2.5 month process. And they'll have a music rehearsal, 2 blocking rehearsals, and whatever we throw in choreography wise. So
how many shows do you normally do a year?
We have 3 main stage shows, 1 in October, 1 in March, and then our summer show is usually in July. And then we've been kind of putting our studio shows in between them. So we had, for the first time, we had a fall studio show, and then we have our Christmas show, and then we have a spring studio show between the spring and summer.
Okay, you say a studio show. It is obviously the show at your studio.
At the Curtain Call studio,
and the other shows are where?
The main stage shows are at Havens right now.
Oh, yeah.
Havens Auditorium, yep. So lots of seats there, so you can, so come out and...
Wow.
Yeah.
So if, again, somebody wants to volunteer or maybe make a donation, where should they go?
Yep, they can go to kcctc.org, or they can email me at info@kcctc.org. And we'll get you connected into wherever you want to go.
So if somebody wants to audition, like if I want to sign you up.
Okay, so...
I'm thinking about doing that.
Well, I think I need a little bit more clarity now that you said that. Okay. It's not just for kids, or we want kids focused with Curtain Call.
It really depends on the show. Like our spring show is our 18 and under show because it's a junior show. And so by contract, I'm not allowed to let people over 18.
Yeah. Sure.
So my rule is as long as you're 18 when you audition, you're good to go. I'm not going to follow up on that, right? And then our summer main stage show is for our Curtain Call alumni, family, and friends. So we open that all up to kind of everybody. Sometimes we put an age limit on the bottom just because of the show. And then our fall show is usually geared more towards like high school, early college, but we kind of let everybody
That's really great.
audition.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm going to sign you up.
Okay. Well, as long as you do it with me. I need to be like in the chorus or like curtains because it takes everybody.
Yeah.
That's right.
To put on a big show.
Yes.
It does. It takes a lot of people. How did you get into this? Like, I know that we've interviewed you a bajillion times and that you do theater at school, right?
I do. So, like, I started theater when I was in high school. I was a member of the choir, and I can remember my freshman year, they needed guys for theater, specifically the musical Grease. And I'm like, okay. So I joined, and I just kind of fell in love with it. One thing about theater, and I tell this, for people who come to volunteer, is now you're part of the theater family. You don't get to go away. Like you're part of it. And it really is. It's your own little family because you just build so many positive relationships. And so that's what brings people back usually are those positive relationships that they build. And I just think that I see the transformative piece of theater and how it changes people's lives and how it affects people, and just the growth. Now that I do it, like I teach full time, so it's not like this is my full time job because really nobody gets paid a lot at Curtain Call. Nobody gets paid. So my full time job is teaching, and so I kind of gave up after high school. I didn't really do theater, and then I was teaching down in the inner city Catholic schools of Indianapolis. And I had students who wanted to do theater, so I helped them start an after-school theater program, and I directed a few shows there. And then when I got married and moved back to the Kokomo area, I was at Northwestern, and there I helped build, a K-12 renowned program. I got involved at the state level on the executive board of Indiana Thespians, and
wow.
And it was actually some board members from Curtain Call that came to me. Pre-COVID, right? They're in early 2020.
Such a line of demarcation, isn't it?
Right, and they're like, we need some help. Our executive director may be leaving, and would you be interested in coming on to Curtain Call? And at the time, I was doing like 6 shows at Northwestern, K-12, running, and I'm like, well, I don't really have time to direct, right? I can come in and help kind of organize the organization and drive it forward. And then COVID hit, and then I left Northwestern. All of that crazy time there, making random life choices.
That's true.
And so, but I left Northwestern. So then all my time I gave to Curtain Call directing their shows. And so, that's how I got into that. But the life-changing, it's just amazing to see how people come into theater and they're this shy. You can't hear them when they're talking because they have these little voices, and then by the end of the time they're like, "Hey, look at me!" And so it's great how they change with confidence and they find themselves. I know I had one parent to say, like, just in the couple years that her son has been in our program. Just the amount of confidence and just exploration and finding themselves. And that's,
That's huge.
Yeah.
Well, and the theater crowd's great. The theater crowd brings everybody in.
Right.
Yeah.
I always tell my board that we have a place, we try to find a place, we want to find a place for everybody. That we don't want to be a clique, we don't want to be exclusive, we want to find a place for everybody. And so I really believe that theater is one of those places where people need to be.
I agree.
Especially if if people are having trouble out in finding friends or finding their strength, then come explore the world of theater. Because the nice thing is, like for our fall show, Big Fish, what a powerful show. And we had a cast member who lost their grandfather in the middle of the show. Well, the show is all about the stories and the memories and the process. So that was a big help for her to be able to I think, be able to deal with that. And then we've had people in the past who dealt with like suicide things, like they were ready, and theater was their saving grace, and that's where they found that hope to keep going, and it kind of saved a life.
I love that.
And they had their theater family as well to give them all that support.
Support to encourage them and to come around them. And one thing that amazes me as a director, that you don't necessarily see this in like high school theater as much, but the support that these cast members give one another. You know, because Curtain Call is made up of surrounding counties. You'll go to a show, you know, I go to a show to support a cast member, and you'll see a whole row of Curtain Call people there supporting them. And that's just an amazing piece of theater life.
It's funny you say that, because I was at a show with Central recently, and 2 rows ahead of me was somebody I knew from Kokomo Civic Theater, and I thought, she's here poaching these kids. She's here scouting for the next generation of actors and actresses. Very smart, Beth. Very smart.
Right?
Yeah. There's some major talent in our area.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the great thing. You know, a couple years ago, the Community Foundation started this like nonprofit collaborative grant process, and out of that came the Kokomo Area Performing Arts League, Kapow, and in that is getting us to work together. The Kokomo Curtain Call, Kokomo Civic Theater, Kokomo Park Band, Kokomo Symphony Orchestra. We all are founding members of Kapow. And so that's part of it, working together and pooling some of our resources for marketing to get people to know that there's this great performing arts opportunity in Kokomo, and that we try to get people to support us and come out and see shows and get involved. And so, so we're all about supporting each other. And
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like you can start in theater in Kokomo, and you can go through Curtain Call, and then maybe you go to high school, and there are fantastic theater programs in high school. And then, you know, maybe you want to do it when you get older. There are so many great opportunities right here in Kokomo for theater, for the arts. We do a great job.
Yeah. And the schools are growing. Like Northwestern has a strong program. Western is building their program. Kokomo is back on track of building a program not only at the high school, but like you said, Central International School. They're hopping with their program there. Amber Moore's doing a great job. Eastern has their musical. I mean, Carol Evenson's been there for a long time, and she's just amazing in her shows out there. So we have it all. And then outside of, you know, it just keeps going. It's great.
And lots of great facilities too in our area to host these events and to help the kids, which is great. All right, Mr. LB, if we need more information, maybe we want to make a donation, or maybe we're looking forward to being in the next show. Best way to reach out. Yeah, I would go to our website, kcctc.org, or if you want an easier way, KokomoCurtainCall.org. Also will get you to the same website. Put in Google. Right? Like, find us on our website. Social media is a great place. Facebook, Instagram, great place to kind of follow along to see what's coming up. It's amazing. We're just going to keep performing.
Thank you so much.
It's so fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Not just for joining us, but the amount of work that you and your partners are putting into the community. It's thousands and thousands of volunteer hours. That is correct.
Love it.
And we are the better for it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
That'll wrap up the Ripple Effect for today. I'm Jessica Ausbrook. This is Kim Graves. Thanks so much for watching.